I love Fort Worth because it's home. Fort Worth is a city that has incredible potential for the glory of God. I think that God is getting ready to do an incredible work in this city. I mean, look at the number of church plants that are just popping up all over the city. The kingdom of God is on the move. There are kingdom makers and kingdom shakers right here in our city. And I think that this is going to be a world leader for the kingdom of God very, very soon. So 2 weeks ago, I was sitting at an intersection that I've wasted hours of my life at the corner of I-35 in Barrie. And there was a guy who was on the street begging for money and food and whatever he could give him. I had a couple dollars in my wallet, and so I rolled the window down. It was one of the last cars before the light turned green, so I didn't have a long conversation with him. But as I handed him the $2, he told me something that struck a chord with me. He said 1,168. And I kind of looked at him, I was puzzled. He said 1,168 cars. And then he walked away. And the only thing I could come to the conclusion of is that he had been counting cars until the point that somebody gave him something to help him. And I couldn't help but wonder what, as a church that is specifically positioned in South Fort Worth, this dude is in the shadow of our steeple. What can we be doing to immediately and positively affect the people underneath that shadow for the kingdom of God? There's no reason why that man should have had to ask 1,168 cars for help, for human decency, to have somebody see the dignity in him. And so I have to ask the question, what would it take for us to up our game in being for the fort? Like genuinely sold out for our city. You know, Jesus said to go locally, to go domestically, to go internationally. We're so good about going away to be on mission for Jesus, and yet he's placed us here for 95% of our time on earth. We're in our hometown. So what can we be doing here and now to be for the fort? So right here within the reach of our church, we call it our 2-mile mission, there are hundreds of needs that can be met right here, right now. Our church does a good job of that with Mercy Clinic and providing healthcare and doing some things around Easter and big moments of the year. But man, we've got prostitution, we've got homelessness, we've got people living in poverty, we've got people who are hungry, going to sleep hungry every single night. There is a real and tangible need to be met right here within the 2-mile mission of our church. And we need to do something about that. We need to continue to up our game in how we are affecting the immediate surroundings of our church. And so I ask, what can you do? What can you do? This summer, we're gonna launch a campaign with Travis Avenue Student Ministry to be for the fort. What would it look like if we were to feed those who are hungry, to clothe those who need clothes, to help those who need a bath, find that bath, to clean up, to radically be for the fort. It can start with you. It can start one person at a time, one conversation at a time. I want to challenge you to do that, to consider that, to think about that. How can you join us in being for the fort this summer?